We've come together on this project to create a tool that will be a tool you can turn to, a tool that you as an executive director can use, a tool that your board members could use, or a tool that you can use in helping educate your board members. But this project was put together with the three outlets, the Department of Health, WSSB, and WSSB, to create a tool that you can use in a day-to-day, a month-to-month, a year-to-year, from the beginning to 10 or 15 years down the road.
The cast of characters then began with seriousness as these directors shared their stories and their woes among themselves and began to talk to others and explain the problems. In short, they began to make real noise. Why can't the state fund some of this project? Where is the state as far as helping its senior citizens have a good life? These were the types of questions being asked by the directors. As they joined forces, they asked the AARP.
More specifically, we're looking at grants and key points for new directors during this training today. Join me as we talk about your basic and formula grants, as well as some other key reporting documents that are concerned with your grants. If you look at today's objectives, we're going to be talking about the two different types of grants that your organization is awarded when associated with the Wyoming Senior Services Board. That's the basic and formula grants. We're going to talk about how the amounts of each of those grants are derived and how they end up in your organization. We're also going to be looking at the grant application forms and the requirements.
You should go through your bylaws with your board of directors and your executive committee probably at least once every 5 years. Okay. Just to make sure, you know, there's statutes in the state that that change when it comes to governance by nonprofits. It's very important that you keep up on those, and a lot of times the last couple of times we've updated our bylaws, we've actually sent them to an attorney, had an attorney read through them to make sure that we were in compliance, one, with state statutes, federal guidelines, and to make sure that we weren't, in today's day and age, you gotta make sure you're not discriminatory or use any kind of verbiage that could be taken the wrong way. So it's important that at least once every 5 years, you could send it to the attorney. If you can find an attorney that will do it pro bono, or you have one on your board, or they know someone, it won't cost you a lot. It may not cost you anything, but it's important. And they may not find anything. They may find that your bylaws are within the guidelines and guidances from the federal and state statutes, or that you're well within any kind of new dialogue that needs to happen. But it's important to take a look at that.
A budget is it's like a forecast of what you predict to happen in the next fiscal year, so that you can plan ahead for the next year, so that you know you can guess how much income or expenses. So if your income is lower than if you think your income will be lower the next year, you can look at expense line items that you need to try and cut back on. So like it's called NOO, that's how you can remember it, NOO. So you take new minus old divided by old. So you take like the last year minus the year before and then divide it by the year before. And that gives you like a percentage of how much it has increased or decreased. So you can kind of see like, oh, last year we increased donations by 3%. And I typically do that for like 3 or 4 years prior, so I can see if there's like a trend in an account.
This training module program would have helped me tremendously because, like I said, I didn't even know, number one, even what WSSB was. I didn't know what that stood for. I didn't know it was a state-funded grant. And so just being able to look at these modules would have been a tremendous help to me.